ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवहं तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। So Saram everyone, continue our videos on Sathya Sai and Jesus the Christ. Well, let me repeat that I think that this question itself is important and can be useful not only for the Christian side devotees, mostly from the Western countries like Europe, Russia, the United States, etc., but for many just devotees. Doesn't matter to which religion you can belong, but yeah, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, most important historically global spiritual masters, and whatever message we have from our beloved Swami Sri Sathya Sai about any of that divine incarnation, that's quite interesting. Okay, Sathya Sai obviously spoke mostly about Krishna's message from the Bhagavad Gita, of course other scriptures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, etc. But Sathya Sai also gave us a lot of glimpses about Jesus' life and spiritual path, even spiritual evolution. And of course, when we speak about different saints, yogis, etc., we know that sometimes people can use clairvoyance just to see what's actually happened in the past or somewhere far away. And of course, a huge question is: can we or must we believe to any clairvoyant person? According to my personal experience, by the way, most of the so-called clairvoyant people actually are not at all. But when we come across Sathya Sai message about something, then no doubts, because he's the divine incarnation of our age. And well, I don't know, honestly speaking, can we speak about Sathya Sai as clairvoyant? Sound not pretty well, because his divine incarnation, he is actually, of course, obviously, he is absolutely clairvoyant. And that's the reason why actually any message about Jesus, not only philosophy, but also his life, is extremely interesting. Well, just I'm using as a material for this video, let me see, that's a chapter number 15 from one of my book dedicated to the Sathya Sai. Yeah, and actually, because I was a Sathya Sai interpreter for the Russian speaking groups in 90s, so I published a number of books, and just one of them is chapter number 15 is the From an early age, this is the title of the chapter, Jesus walked the spiritual path. So how can we know it? We know it from Sathya Sai, and that's a slightly confusing point for classical Christians, because, well, according to the classical Christian approach, Jesus was born kind of enlightened or just perfect. But according to the Sathya Sai message, we know that Jesus was, in Sanskrit we call it Janma Karana, which is born with a special divine mission, but he was not enlightened from the very beginning. I mean, that's Sathya Sai vision. And it means Sathya Sai speaks about certain spiritual evolution for the Jesus, actually, since his teenage, until the age of maybe 29 or 30, when he actually became spiritual master. So Sathya Sai and Baba's stories about the life of Jesus are amazing with their incredible details. He told stories about Jesus' life as the teenager, for example, and we have a few very special stories. We don't have this kind of stories in any of the Gospels. One such story was set in Nazareth when Jesus lived with his mother, brothers, and sisters. By this time, his earthly father, Joseph, had already died. According to the story of Sathya Sai, the teenage Jesus took himself away to the nearby hill. His mother Mary soon became worried about the long absence of her son and began to look for him. Eventually she found him at the top of the hill, sitting on the ground in a state of deep meditation. He practiced solitary meditation while on the hill for 12 days. Can you imagine? And well, actually, in my previous videos, I already told you that basically Sathya Sai supported this idea that something like 15 years, or maybe at least 10 years or more, Jesus spent in India learning philosophy and actually meditation. Yeah, and well, it's interesting to notice that according to Sathya Sai, when Jesus was 30 years old, he received an initiation baptism from his cousin, his actually guru, John the Baptist. And after this baptism, Jesus retreated to the desert for 40 days in order to practice meditation and prayer. Well, the point why Jesus, according to Sathya Sai, went after this initiation from John the Baptist to the desert. So it's not like to be tempted from the devil, Satan, or something like that, but just to practice deep meditation and prayer. And according to information from Sathya Sai, Jesus Christ began to practice solitary meditations and prayers in a teenage, when he was as a teenager. So that's a very interesting point that Sathya Sai stressed, that Jesus Christ came into this world with a special divine mission. Yeah, but at the same time, let us see that there are many masters who also came to this world with a special divine mission. So it means Jesus the Christ was one of them. For example, Guru Nanak, for example, Zoroaster, or Buddha, and many other masters. So it means we have, according to our beloved Swami's message, we have picture of the spiritual evolution and culture of humanity, like many masters, according to the cultural and any other reasons could appear in different parts of the world and in different eras, time, and give a special message and teaching which can be useful for this or that group of followers. So it means no separate guru is like the only true one. That's, I think, very important for us to remember. And of course, that's extremely interesting that Sathya Sai said that Jesus the Christ went through several stages in his spiritual quest. From the very early age, he followed spiritual path. So it means, anyway, through the practice of meditation, according to Sathya Sai, Jesus, he was growing step by step towards perfect self-realization, and then he actually became a spiritual master. Nowadays, quite a few spiritual seekers assume that there is no need to practice any yoga techniques and meditations. Many people, by mistake, think that it is enough to quote a few scriptures or to attend, a few lectures about whatever esoteric teachings. And if you just know intellectually something, many modern people assume that that's actually enough. But, to the example of Jesus the Christ, Sathya Sai points that no, even very special incarnations. Even such a high soul like Jesus, he practiced intensive meditation for years before actually achieve perfection. So Jesus as example, from the level of duality, like he is a servant of God, then step by step Sathya Sai explaining us that Jesus experienced connection and oneness with God in the sense that he is Son of the God, and then finally complete and total oneness. So basically Sathya Sai speaks about 3 steps, 3 levels. First, Jesus understood that he is servant of the God, Lord, with a certain mission. Then the second step, that he is a child of the Lord. And by the way, okay, I have a Bible next to me, just read Bible. And Jesus himself told to his disciples that actually each and every human being, if practice meditation and if stay in a vibration of Holy Spirit, is son or daughter of God. So actually original Jesus teaching, so according to the New Testament, directly, is actually not only he himself is child of God, but everyone is child. But important detail which we can see in the Bible, that potentially each and every human being is a child of God, but to actualize this experience you have to practice, and you have to be in that vibration of the Holy Spirit. That's very important. But how to be in that vibration of Holy Spirit? Of course through meditation. So it means first servant of the Lord, then child of the Lord, and then oneness with the Lord. So these 3 major steps which Sathya Sai is describing like the process of evolution of the Jesus. And actually that's example for everyone. So it's a totally new approach. Jesus not only like object of worship, for worship, but also Jesus as example of how each and every human being must, grow, practice and grow, and finally achieve this oneness with the Lord. So see you next time. Sairam, all of you.
Om Bhurбhuvasvaham Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam